Welcome back. Election day is still a year and a half away, but let's talk about it now. The first two Republican debates are already set for this summer, and they each have a different set of rules. Fox News hosts the first one on August 6th, and it's only open to the top 10 candidates, according to an average of 5 polls. Now, just to give you an idea, here's the top 10 as of today. Jeb Bush and Scott Walker are at the top. Rick Santorum and John Kasich, which is a bit of a surprise, made it in there. But Carly Fiorina, for example, is not on that list. George Pataki, assuming that he runs, and he's probably going to run, is not on that list. CNN's debate is going to be a month later. It'll be broken into 2 parts. The top 10 go first, and then the rest of the field are going to have their own contest. Maybe I just want to see the train wreck happen, but I want all 18 of them on stage at the same time.
Totally. If I was a Democrat, I would pray to have all 18 on stage. Having 10 is good enough. Yeah. I can't. This is just ridiculous. It's like watching a rodeo. I mean, it's just too much. Everyone has 2 seconds to talk.
It used to be everyone in the boxes.
Hollywood Squares.
Yes, Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. It's too much.
What it kind of reminds me.
Nobody has time to talk cogently. It's just.
Well,
They don't know how to talk cogently.
You can't. The problem is
That's
you
low.
can't. It won't allow for any real debate.
There's no exchange.
And you know, each person will have
So
like
what
2
would you
minutes.
do?
But what
to
else
talk.
would you
It's not
do?
like any,
I know.
it's not like any of these debates are really exchanges of IDs
What would you
in any
do?
serious nature.
I know. I don't have the answer.
So
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I didn't get
What
that
would you
far.
do, Republicans?
5-hour debate. I don't know. I mean, you've got all the candidates. You got to put them up there. It's just difficult to watch because it's all one-liners.
I was just hoping to get some of the wingnuts in with some of the establishment guys.
This is a pretty impressive field, though.
Well, you know, you
this is a
Ben
good
Carson's
field.
in the top 10. I
Ben
mean,
Carson's in the
Rick
top 10?
Santorum's in the top
Well,
10, at
Rick
least right
Santorum
now.
is marginal wingnut. Ben Carson's genuine wingnut.
He's a bright guy. It'll be an interesting debate.
And give it
for,
time.
for the 2 seconds that they each have.
Give it
I'd
time.
like to see Carly Fiorina in there because
So
she's
would
the
I.
only woman and she's really
So
smart.
you believe-
and I
you
think
believe
she
in
would add
quotas.
so
She'll
much.
probably swap
You
out with
believe
Chris
in
I
quotas.
Christie.
said she's really smart, and I think
She was
she's
the CEO.
qualified.
You said she was a woman. You did say that.
I said she's the only woman.
Right.
So the media and everyone is making such a big deal about Hillary breaking through the glass ceiling. Then we should have our women front and center as
We've
well.
got one too.
Does this change the strategy for the candidates going? Let's say you're working on the Pataki campaign. Do you now have to work to try to make a splash?
Yes.
So that you can get in the debate, which is
absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got to do a big news thing to jump your points a couple before they close the door. on the debate.
Ideas. What? Give me an idea for George.
For George, I don't know. He'll get himself in there. He'll find something. He's good.
You know, I
do an
keep
environmental
asking
thing.
you guys for
Environmental.
solutions.
Yeah, the problem
George
is
isn't
though,
paying,
like
so it's not.
they're
don't give away what you
limiting.
can sell.
Is it which states are they doing state by state polls?
I think
even
it's
know
national
that.
polls.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it's nationally because it doesn't
It's
seem
hard
like.
because like Pataki's been spending so much time in New Hampshire, so you know his ID in New Hampshire is going to be much higher than it is probably in Iowa at this point.
Yeah.
So who's the nominee going to be? Let's go on the record right now.
Forget about the debates. Let's go right all the way to the
I
nomination.
think the obvious is Jeb Bush. I think Jeb.
do you
I'd like
think it's
Scott
gonna
Walker.
be?
I like a bunch of them.
I think Jeb will be one of 3. I think it will probably be Walker, Jeb, and a wild card.
And I think Carly Fiorina will make a play. I think she will make a
Well, she's
play.
running
I
for
like
vice
Rubio,
president.
maybe.
But she'll make herself known by the end of this.
I'm sticking with Rand Paul. Why not? All right, let's move on. It's no secret that the Fox News channel leans to the right, but what if I told you that it's hurting the right? A new report called How Fox News Changed American Media and Political Dynamics spells it all out. It is not written by a Democrat. It's written by Bruce Bartlett, a veteran of both the Reagan and Bush 41 administrations. He's the one who put it together. The report says Fox's core viewers are poorly informed, I should say, and very insular, so they need to be fed a constant stream of vitriol so that, in effect, that pushes Republicans to constantly try to outdo each other in the outrage department. That hurts more than helps the party. That's the conclusion of this.
Why are we telling them how to fix this problem?
Go
everything
on.
is fine. You keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
Why do
because
you say we to Andrew?
MSNBC
He's
has been so
objective.
No,
successful.
but
Come on.
MSNBC is a match for Fox in a lot of ways, and I take your point. But it doesn't run the party the way Fox runs the Republican Party.
And the viewers don't behave the same way that Fox News viewers behave. Fox News viewers are very inclusive in conservative media. MSNBC viewers tend to look for other sources that are
and
outside the comfort
There's
zone.
something to be said about outrage media on the right and on the left. I mean, there's no question where everyone tries to outdo one another. I remember flipping on one afternoon on a Glenn Beck show, and I thought, my God, the world's coming to an end. It was like they were selling heirloom seeds, in gold, buried
Was
in
that
gold
during
in
the
your thing.
commercials?
You
or
don't
during
think
the
the
show?
world is coming to an end?
I don't.
And
No, I
you're a
told you before.
Republican?
I told you before that
At some point, because Fox,
The other Bill O'Reilly, right on the screen.
we like ours
There he
better. The Fox has served valuable tool for Republicans. It certainly has done a lot of what the party used to do, which is, feed the talking points, rally the base, get people out to the polls, that sort of thing. Is there a point of diminishing returns for Fox News in terms of how much it can actually aid the
For
GOP?
Rupert Murdoch or for the party?
For the party.
I mean, they're
For the
making
party.
money hand over fist.
I don't
No,
think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, I think some shows are more strident than others. I mean, some of the midday news it's got a conservative tilt, but it's not over the top. I mean, some of the shows are certainly conservative talking point oriented.
Is it helping or hurting the Republican Party? You've got a party that has moved so far to the right,
galvanizes.
it can't win national elections.
I think it will. I think it could have won the last national election with a different candidate.
Well, but let me give
I think it will win this time.
It's interesting that you mentioned 2012 because that's one of the examples that was cited in the report where there was so much assurance across the conservative part of the spectrum that Romney was going to win, that this thing was in the bag for Mitt Romney, that not only did people were they taken off guard when Obama won and won fairly easily on election night 2012, but that's what led to Karl Rove going on the air and saying, no, the math is wrong, let me go back and recheck the math again.
Yeah, he won't do that again.
Did it stifle Republican turnout? Did it stifle Republican donations?
No,
Did
it had a prior impact, which was it took a moderate Republican, guy who had enacted legislation just like Obamacare in Massachusetts, and it made him run from his record and run from things that the American people had by and large supported. When you are forced that far to the right by your primary, you can't, or it's, let's just say, much more difficult to come back to the middle for the general election. That's what's going to happen again in 2016. I don't care if it's Jeb Bush or Scott Walker, they're having to deal with red meat conservatives and some really crazy stuff. Jade Helm, legitimate rape, the kinds of stuff that pops from the right makes your party unable to connect with swing voters.
Any response?
No, I think it's a fair criticism when you have something like the legitimate rape thing. I mean, that's some like idiot going out there.
Idiots.
Yeah, it's mostly idiot. It's mostly a singular thing.
There was one
and then
in
it tarnishes
Missouri
the
and there
entire
was one
party.
in Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of thousands of people that are interviewed, but yeah, that stuff hurts. It definitely hurts. But I don't think Fox owns that. I mean, I think Fox helps articulate arguments that people bring back into their districts that they carry around into dressing rooms.
And I feel like,
Some of
and
them got
in
thrown
recent
off
years,
Fox News.
In recent
I
years,
speak
they
from
have.
You were thrown off
experience.
Fox News?
I was.
Oh, tell us.
I used to
I
do
gotta
the
get
Cavuto
that
show a
clip.
lot.
I gotta get
And
that clip.
he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
They put me up against a wingnut who, on a discussion of FCC dirty words restrictions, while I was talking, the guy held up a sign that said, 4 letters. I'm not going to say what they are. This is a family show. I lost it. They said to me, thank you, here's the door. That was the last time I paid. Yeah.
We gotta find that clip.
I love that story. That's like the happiest story I've heard all day. Should we kick him off the show now? All right, we'll take a break. Coming up, the last night of the David Letterman show, of course, last night. We'll show you some highlights and reminisce a little bit about Dave's legacy.